All right, let's master up some brutals. Bradley. It's kind of crazy looking. Hackensack. Maybe Hackensack. Angry Joe Army. What is happening here? Got an AskDakka today, I'm pretty sure. Stand by. Spelled my name wrong. Sorry, guys. My fault. Should hammer this out. It's okay. It's growing pains. Why can I not? Dude. Got the fucking caps lock on. That's why. Where did you come up? How did you come up with your username, Dakabooms? Double sword. All right. I've always had kind of iterations of booms in my name. I always kind of use little wordplay here and there. Like I've had, like I'm joking, Joeking. I had banjo for a long time, which I was kind of using as like an indicator for people, giving them a heads up, like ban me, because I normally would go in and kind of like stir the pot and just get reactions, kind of like if you've those of you. Okay, so that's an incorrect path. No, that could be no, that's incorrect. But kind of like how I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of how I would play like Battlefield sometimes. I kind of just go in and do what I want, and sometimes that would kind of disrupt things. So I kind of thought it'd be fair to be like, Banjo was unfortunately that had the obvious actual effect of people thinking I played the banjo. So I'd hear people be like, "Oh, you play the banjo, man? I played the banjo for a couple of years," and I'm like, I played the banjo. It's just a play on words, but so I would normally do that. Like I said, Booms was always in the mix. Dakka is onomatopoeia from the 40k Warhammer 40k universe. It's what the orcs refer to their like gun hardware because it's the sound it makes, like dakka 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 or dakka dakka dakka. It's kind of that boom 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 sound, and I love it because I love orcs. This is a double. Um, and orcs are just probably one of my favorite factions in general. I think they're a great kind of culture and race. They're kind of happy in conflict, so they seek it out. That's where they get their enjoyment. That's how they grow as a species, literally and figuratively. Is the more things they put themselves into, the better they get, the stronger they get. So they're happy, in conflict, which is kind of a unique thing in the Warhammer 40k. Everyone's at war basically. So what you got is a race that like thoroughly enjoys fighting because for them it's like this is an opportunity to get better ultimately. And I've always kind of gravitated to that. So the Dakka is kind of the experience. I think you can never have enough Dakka is something they say. Never enough Dakka because you can have all the guns in the world, but there's never enough of it. So Dakka is kind of the experiences and the stuff you try. Dakka Dakka, Dakka it out, and Booms is the outcome, right? That's the either it went well and there's a burst of inspiration or learning, or it went wrong and the boom is you've exploded and you're dead. And so Dakka Booms is a play on words, obviously. It's the kabooms, but ultimately it's two parts in one, and that's how I normally do things. I remember most of my names, it would take me. Wow, I'm actually shocked that got anybody. Ooh, cool, this is gonna be. Oh, that last one could have. Don't shoot Harvey. Nice. That's what you get. Watch this. Dang. Thought I could get him with the spikes. Maybe this one? Did I spike him? I did. Yeah, I remember one of my buddies, like I was changing the name up, and I won't say what that name was because it's probably easy to find. and someone could track me down. But he was like, that is more that is more thought into a name than I would ever put. And I was like, I know. It's got to be names and things and characters have to be done right for me because I am someone who changes so often. Most of my buddies, you know, I would say, I think all of them, now I'm thinking about it, have tattoos. And I really like tattoos. I kind of always have. And I don't have a single one myself. And it's because I change so often. I've made a rule where I'm like, hey, if I still like this thing after a year, I'll get it. And there hasn't been one thing that made it. I just, you know, I changed my mind. Things that I like once, I kind of move past sometimes. And outside of like a tribute tattoo, you know, where it's like, well, yeah, you know, I always kind of want to remember this person. I don't know that there's much I stick with long enough. You know, once I kind of get bored, I just I kind of move forward. Yeah, that's kind of the origin. Is it's a two-part. Obviously, it sounds like the Kabooms, which I love. But Dakka is kind of a remembrance or reminder of a cool race who I kind of vibe with, which is the orcs in 40k. And the booms is just kind of a reminder that, you know, as long as the explosions are happening, things are good. Whether it's creative inspiration or just a mistake that goes south, it's fun, you know. And orcs know that well. They're kind of like, fuck it, we'll get in there, we'll get stuck in for the scrap. And I love their philosophy because it's they never lose. Orcs never lose in Warhammer 40k. You can be like, well, you know, I beat him in a tournament. And you're like, no, you didn't, because orcs win as long as they get to fight. If they're fighting, they're winning. If they got into a fight and lost, then they weren't strong enough and they deserve to die. And they kind of feel that way. And I think I just love that about him. Let's get someone to shoot someone in the back here. Maybe you. That'll do. Oh, through the legs? Get his leg there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was fun. What was it though? Angry Joe Army. My man. I think it was fun. But yeah, a lot of that. You'll find me referencing 40k a lot. When I was really young, my buddy Jeff is really who like reignited it. But when I was really young, there's a chance that I knew about 40k before any of my buddies. Jail. Yeah, we're gonna go there probably. When I eats your booty. Loop farm? A loop farm? Curious about it, but I'm not really looking for charity right now. I'm always interested by the Twitch TVers. This is about as killboxy as you get, right? I want to see what this is about. I went into like a comic book shop when I was really young. I think I asked my mom to like, hey, can we go in there? And I got a metal orc, like back when the models were like pewter or metal or something. I don't really know what they were made of. They're plastic now, obviously, but I still have that metal goblin / orc. And I always loved it. And so I actually bought a Warhammer piece when I was a kid. And actually that same trip to the comic book store, my mom got me a monster manual or monster compendium, or I think like not Farscape, Planescape. Yeah, that's what it was. Double Fire, interesting. And that's what started me in like D&D. I bought all the monster manuals and stuff. And every new year that came out, I would get that. This is a good one. It's got a lot of Double Fire in these, though. So I started collecting those because I love reading about the different monsters and stuff like that. Really expected something there. And I had a shit ton. And then I started like picking up a little bit of just like D&D in general. I'd buy like the books on like the druid class and, you know, whatever. And eventually I amassed like a pretty like I have like 2 whole like big shelves full of hardcover like D&D books, and I've only formally played D&D like twice ever. One because they're in jail. This is like Pigeon's spiritual successor. Did you make it out? Oh, behind? There's a funny story with the books too. Is I had some people over. I love this jail, man. It's cool. This is cool too. Got peeps in here? No. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. This is awesome. Oh my god, dude. So I had some people over at the house. I don't know. I must have been. Well, I know exactly how old I was. Probably like 23. Probably around in there. And so I started having some people over at the house here and there. And our couple guys turned into a couple more. And then it was like, on the weekends or in the summer. We have like 7 people over. Well, that started like kicking up. And, people would bring their girlfriends, or like girls would bring their friends. And then eventually it got a little bigger. And then, we're up to, I don't know, 20 people in the house. And so at the time I had like moved my my room to the basement. At least that sounds better. So we were like partying up in the kitchen, doing all that, and someone was like, "Hey Joe, can I grab whatever from like the refrigerator down in the basement?" And I was like, "Yeah, go for it, dude." And then probably that, or artistic maybe. So they went down, and I heard a "What the fuck?" And it like occurred to me. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I knew exactly what had happened. Not that it was a huge deal. Like, I don't really give a fuck. But in the moment, it wasn't something like I was volunteering. But I suddenly was like, "Oh shit!" All of my hardcover D&D books were like in a closet that was right next to that refrigerator. And so someone probably went down there trying to look for the refrigerator, open that door, and then saw like a bunch of D&D books. And no one, it's not like it was like, scandalous, but like my buddies didn't play that. And it was still at the time like a fun thing to make fun of. Like now it's like, I feel like, there's a lot more people that run it. Yeah, sure. Fitchburg. So he brought up like one of those books, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a monster manual." And then like girls were like, "What?" And I was like, "It's for D&D. It's like all the different kinds of stuff." So they cracked the books. They were looking at it, and like I was reading all the different monsters. And I remember my buddies who hadn't showed up yet like came in the door, and there was like maybe 10 people around the kitchen table looking at like cool monsters, and I was explaining like things they did. And they're like, "What the fuck is this? Is this are we drinking? Or like, what is this?" I'm like, "Yeah, nah, they found my D&D stuff." And so that was just kind of like I've had 40K stuff for a while. I've had D&D stuff for a while. I didn't necessarily play it, mostly because I didn't, if I'm being honest, I just didn't vibe with those types of people, mostly. Oh, just the legs chop in there. I think the people I was hoping to play with weren't available at that moment in time, if that makes sense. And the one time I did go with Jeff, who you've seen, or maybe not, in the Baldur's Gate series, he's like, "Hey man, bombs would have been good here. Bombs would have been good here as well." So that break? What the hell caused that? I didn't hit anything. It broke it, though. I didn't get credit for breaking it, either. I just looked in the lower left. So that's kind of weird, huh? forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, Jeff, who's in the Baldur's Gate game we're playing. He was like, "Hey, come up to this comic book shop. Um, we'll play some D&D. Like they got like a group there." And I'm like really hesitant just because I'm like, I don't know if it's my vibe. Like I know that's a weird thing, and it's bullshit. It shouldn't be, but like I'm not. I'm pretty nerdy. I really like. I'm nerdier than people think I am when they see me, for sure. Um, I am not as nerdy as it gets though, and some of those guys are like, they gatekeep a little bit. They're not as, I don't know how to say it. I wanted to say like socially aware, and I know that's wrong, but you know what I'm saying. I'm taking this on because it's cool. So we got there. There was like a younger guy who's really cool. He was like DMing. There was another younger guy who was not as cool. And I just mean that, and like he was kind of aggressive and shit. And then there was like one of the group that didn't show up until super later, and then me, and then Jeff. And so like we're getting started in this thing, and sorry making this really long, but I think you'll enjoy it because I did. So this girl shows up like super late. She's like, "Hey," and she like is very clearly like wanting the spotlight on her, and I'm just like, "Yo, I'm just trying to play. Like it's late." I'm gonna exaggerate sometimes, but I swear to God, it's close to this, and Jeff can back me up. We started at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Right? This guy who's DMing is super cool. There's another young guy that's really cool. I almost forgot about too. He's like super welcoming, kind of quiet, but like he's trying to explain things because I'm kind of dumb about shit. Like I've owned all these books. I know stuff about D&D, like more than just like someone you take off the street, big time, like monsters and stuff we'd encounter. Like I pretty much had them memorized, like their special abilities and stuff. Like I just love reading about mythology and stuff like that. It's just always something I've been into. So we're going along, and the story is that I don't remember what the chick was running. The aggressive dude was running like a warlock, I think. And just about as edgelord warlock as you can possibly get. And hang on one second, I just gotta adjust this real quick. So we're in like camp, and the story is that we got to get to this like underground where this unholy ceremony is taking place. It's basically like a wedding in the Underdark, I'm pretty sure. And like it took us forever to get anything going because these guys just like, well, what if we do this and what if we do that? It was so fucking hard for me to like stay engaged because you've seen how I play. Like I'm even thinking like Baldur's Gate 3 is a good realization for me that I probably can't play like long turn-based games with other people because I just like end up pushing the narrative too fast because I get bored, and that's not fair to them, you know. There's something there that they can't traverse unless he's harnessed. What? Yeah, there it is. Oh shit, that didn't get him. That's a problem. So we're like plotting along. It's taken forever to do anything. We have not gotten in combat yet, not once. And it is now 10:30 at night. So we've gone 3 hours just fucking around. This chick is like really stalling the party out because she's making it a lot about herself. It was kind of a very obvious to me, like she's here for the attention kind of thing, which sucked. And she did not like that she was not getting it because I was getting a little frustrated. Like I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this cutesy baby talk you're doing. Like I want to get into this game. I want to learn it. And Jeff at this point is like mouthing to me like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's not his fault, you know, like it's just, it didn't work out well because of who he had. And so she was being kind of annoying. And the warlock tiefling edgelord guy was like just being weird. And so I was trying to get stuff going. I'm like, well, I'm going to engage. And they're like, well, hang on. Let's send, I think she was a druid. I'm going to transform into like a squirrel or a bat or something and go investigate this wedding. So we're down in the Underdark. We still haven't gotten into combat. And she like floats in or sneaks in an animal form. And she's like, you know, the DM like kind of reveals what it is that's down there. Sounds awesome. It's definitely like a profane ritual taking place, you know, needs interrupting, needs bonking, needs smashing. you know, get me in there. I don't even remember what my dude was because I honestly mostly blocked out the entire interaction. But we were. She goes in. She reports all this. The DM, you know, tells her what she's seeing, and she's like, "I think we should go back to town in the tavern. It's too dangerous." And I fucking lost it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, interrupted. I'm like, I'm not. There's no way. We've gone 3 hours without any kind of combat, and we finally found like the mission, and we're going. Like, why are we playing if we're just avoiding conflict? We could do this at home, you know? I was like really mad. I was like, you guys are you've dragged this on for nothing. You've done your little whatevers, and now there's like a bit of enjoyment and excitement. They're like, I don't think we should go. It's too dangerous. I was like, dude. And poor Jeff is like, dude, I'm so sorry. This isn't what it's supposed to be, and I know it isn't. And D&D is a game that is made or broken by who you play with. If you got a good crew, like, and they're all vibing with the same kind of style, like our Baldur's Gate 3 is more like kind of fun. Like, we enjoy having fun, but like it's going to turn into a murder hobo campaign, let's be honest. And that's partially my fault. It's not partially, it's all my fault. Because I really want to know the story, but if it isn't at a pace that's quick enough, I start skipping stuff, and then when I skip stuff, I don't know what's going on. When I don't know what's going on, I just say, fuck it, kill him. And unfortunately, my buddies normally have to pick up the slack because of that. They're used to it, don't worry. But anyways, we're there, and these guys are like, yeah, maybe we should. And I'm like, what do I need? And it was like the warlock had something to stop the ritual. And I'm like, all right, well, if he's not coming, I'm taking it from him. How do I roll to like steal? And he's like, well, you can do this. And the guy, the tiefling warlock, who's like much smaller than me in real life, like just it's an odd thing having it's hard to describe. I'm not at all trying to be like I am very badass.jpg here. I'm not. I'm just saying this guy, when you saw him, you'd be a little shocked that he'd be threatening in real life. And basically what he said is just like, if your character tries to steal from my character, I can't be held responsible for what my character will do to yours. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to roll to steal. And he's like, okay, just so you know, if you do something to my character in here, I'm going to have a problem with you in real life. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I was laughing because I thought it was so funny that he was like really, because either he's joking, he's going to drop it, I'm going to laugh, or he's serious, I'm going to laugh harder. And it was like a moment at the table where I'm like, I'm going to fucking do this, dude. Like, you don't, I'm sorry for you, but unfortunately you got the wrong person when it comes to that. Like, that's just going to make me want to do it more. So things were kind of getting off the rail. Ooh, Dream Nomad. Man, he's cranking them out. It's awesome, dude. Uncle Nicolay? Lord Ghostly. It's kind of cool. So that went terrible. It was 1 a.m. We still 1 a.m, guys. So another 2 hours of like trying to figure this out. 1 a.m. We didn't get in any combat. Not once. The entire mission, we did not get going. I'm like, I still am like, how can you even like, oh, that guy's getting shot. Ooh, this is maybe going to be a weird one in a really good way. Whoa. What is this room, man? Okay. It's got the Dead by Daylight. That's going to hurt me if I don't get out of here quick. Oh, filtering through there is kind of clever. Maybe with a corner piece. Ooh, I like that. Kind of goes through there, the wraparound. There's something you can do with this. Yeah, there's something there. He doesn't know it yet, but he's got something. Believe it or not. It's kind of cool. So yeah, that was like my I wasn't sure if that was homing. My formal, like, get it now, and you gotta go. Nope, that, oh my god, you are so lucky. And then we did one that was a lot more fun, like with buddies. A couple of my cousins and stuff, and that was, we just couldn't, like, keep realigning with schedules and stuff. But that shit was a blast. It's kind of what made me excited for Baldur's Gate. I played Baldur's Gate 2. I didn't play 1. But I love, like, sandboxes are actually, like, my game of choice. And the first-person viewpoint like this is often found in them because you're taking control of that character. Ooh, this is so fucking weird one. Like Skyrim and all those are generally speaking my go-to, which is why Starfield I'm like super stoked for. So those type of games where you have like the most freedom to do whatever you want, that's unsurprisingly where I'm gravitating to. Same reason I'm here. All this shit is like choose your own adventure, create your own adventure type of deal, which I'm here for, obviously. All right, so hopefully that explains it. Dakka booms. What do we say to that one? That was fun, and you know what? Inadvertently ingenious. I think he's got. There's something to do with that. You can do something with that. That's pretty good. Wrapping around and realizing that could go through was like a oh shit moment for me, which means I haven't seen it, and it's probably gonna work.